Ladies and gentlemen, friends and fellow seekers of peace, every single day, life throws something at us. An unkind word, an unexpected challenge, a disappointment, or a rejection. And too often, we let those things control how we feel, how we think, and even how we live. But today, I want to remind you of something simple yet powerful. You have the choice to stop letting things affect you. Think about it. How many times have you replayed a small insult in your mind for hours, maybe even days? How often have you allowed someone's bad mood to ruin your good one? How often have you carried the weight of things that didn't deserve your energy in the first place? When you give outside events, people, or circumstances the power to dictate your peace, you are handing them the keys to your emotional freedom. Here's the truth. No one can control your mind unless you allow them to. The moment you decide that your peace matters more than someone's opinion, you begin to step into real strength. When you refuse to give power to negativity, you stop being a prisoner of circumstances and start being the master of your own life. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means learning to respond instead of react. It means understanding that other people's actions say more about them than they ever say about you. It means drawing a line between what you can control and what you can't, and refusing to waste energy on the latter. When you stop letting things affect you, you gain clarity. You free up mental space for growth, creativity, and joy. You become unshakable, not because life stops testing you, but because you've learned to stay calm in the storm. So, the next time someone criticizes you unfairly, remember, their words only have as much power as you give them. The next time life throws an obstacle in your path, don't ask, why me? Instead, ask, how can I grow through this? And the next time you feel your peace slipping away, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I choose what affects me. My friends, strength is not about controlling everything around you. It's about mastering what's inside you. Happiness is not about a perfect life, it's about a peaceful heart, and freedom is not about escaping challenges. It's about rising above them. So today, I challenge you, take back your power, stop letting things affect you, choose peace, choose growth, choose yourself. You are in control of your reactions every day. We face situations that test us. Someone cuts us off in traffic, a co-worker makes a snide remark, a friend forgets to call back, or life throws a challenge we didn't see coming. These events are often outside of our control, but what truly defines us is not what happens, but how we respond to what happens. This is where the real power lies, the power of choice. Think about this. Nobody can climb into your mind and make you angry, sad, or stressed. Emotions are natural, yes, but the way we handle them is always up to us. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and renowned psychiatrist, once said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space, that small moment of pause is where your strength lies. Most people give away this power without even realizing it. They live on autopilot, reacting instantly to situations. Someone insults them. They lash out. Someone rejects them. They feel unworthy. Something goes wrong. They spiral into stress. But here's the truth. Reactions are habits, not destiny, and habits can be changed. Imagine someone throws a stone into a calm lake. The stone is the event it's out of your control, but the ripples on the water represent your reaction. If you allow every stone to disturb your waters, you'll never know peace. But if you choose to stay calm, you'll begin to see that the stone doesn't have the power. It's your response that creates the ripples. Here's an example. Two people can go through the exact same situation, say, losing a job. One person reacts with panic, despair, and hopelessness. The other responds with resilience, using it as motivation to seek a better opportunity. The event is the same, but the outcomes are worlds apart. Why? Because of how each person chose to respond. This is why mastering your reaction is one of the greatest life skills. It doesn't mean you suppress your emotions or pretend problems don't exist. It means you acknowledge them, but you don't let them rule you. It's about taking a pause before you react, asking yourself, is this worth my energy? Does this deserve my peace? Most of the time, the answer will be no. When you realize you are in control of your reactions, you also realize you are in control of your life. You stop being a puppet of circumstances and become the author of your own story. You gain freedom. Freedom from being shaken by every insult. Freedom from being broken by every obstacle. Freedom from being controlled by things that don't deserve your power. Now, does this mean you'll never get angry, upset, or disappointed again? Of course not. You're human, and emotions are part of life. But the difference is this. Instead of being trapped by those emotions, you'll learn to master them. Instead of reacting immediately, you'll create space for wisdom to step in. Instead of letting temporary storms cloud your sky, you'll let the sun of peace shine through. So, the next time life tests you, and it surely will, remember this truth. You are in control of your reactions. No one, no situation, no challenge can dictate your inner peace unless you give it permission. Take that power back, guard it fiercely, and watch how your life transforms when you stop letting everything affect you. Don't hand over your power. One of the greatest mistakes we make in life is giving other people the power to control how we feel. Think about it. How many times have you allowed a rude comment, a rejection, or even someone's bad mood to ruin your day? You could be having a good morning, but then someone criticizes you, and suddenly your energy shifts. You feel small, angry, or drained, and just like that, you've handed over your inner power to someone else. But here's the truth. Nobody deserves that much power over you. Not your boss, not your co-worker, not your critics, not even strangers on the internet. The way people act is a reflection of who they are, not who you are. When someone is rude, impatient, or unkind, it usually says more about their struggles than about your worth. Yet, when you internalize their behavior, you make it your burden. Think of it this way. If someone hands you a gift and you refuse to take it, the gift still belongs to them. In the same way, if someone throws negativity at you, insults, judgment, hate, and you don't accept it, it still belongs to them, not you. Why carry what isn't yours? Why let someone else's issues become the thief of your peace? When you hand over your power, you become a puppet to the world around you. Every word, every situation, every glance pulls your strings. You feel good when people approve of you and terrible when they don't. You ride an emotional roller coaster that never ends, all because your happiness depends on forces outside of your control. That is no way to live. True strength comes when you decide, once and for all, my peace is not up for grabs. You set a boundary that says, I refuse to let negativity define me. I refuse to let someone else's opinion dictate my worth. I refuse to let temporary moments control my permanent spirit. This doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It doesn't mean you shut yourself off from the world. It simply means you stop giving away your emotional keys to everyone who knocks on your door. Your mind, your heart, and your energy are sacred. Not everyone deserves access. Take criticism, for example. If the feedback is constructive, use it to grow. But if it's simply cruel or baseless, let it roll off your back. Why give weight to words that were never meant to build you? Or consider rejection. Too often, we let rejection convince us that we are unworthy. But rejection is not a measure of your value. It is simply redirection. The problem is not that life rejects us. The problem is that we give that rejection too much power over how we see ourselves. Taking back your power is about self-respect. It is about knowing your worth so deeply that no external force can shake it. The storms may come, but your roots remain firm. People may judge, but you stay grounded in your truth. Circumstances may shift, but your inner peace stays untouched. Remember this. What you allow is what will continue. If you allow every insult, every rejection, every negative vibe to affect you, it will control your life. But if you stand tall and refuse to hand over your power, you'll discover a new level of freedom. You'll realize that strength doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from mastering yourself. So, the next time someone tries to steal your peace, ask yourself, do they really deserve my energy? Do they deserve the keys to my happiness? The answer will almost always be no. Hold your power, protect it. Because Once you learn not to hand it over, nothing and no one can break you. Learn to separate what you can and cannot control. One of the most important lessons in life is realizing that not everything is meant to be controlled. In fact, much of what causes our stress and unhappiness comes from fighting battles that are not ours to fight. The weather, traffic, other people's opinions, the past. These are all things we simply cannot control. Yet, how often do we waste our energy worrying about them, complaining about them, or letting them steal our peace? This is why wisdom lies in learning to draw a clear line. On one side are the things you can control, and on the other side are the things you cannot. Your life changes when you stop pouring energy into the wrong side of that line. Think about it. You cannot control whether someone likes you, but you can control how you treat them. You cannot control whether a challenge shows up in your life, but you can control how you respond to it. You cannot control the past, but you can control the lessons you take from it. You cannot control the entire future, but you can control the choices you make today. The great philosopher Epictetus said it best: make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This is not about ignoring problems. It's about focusing on where your effort truly makes a difference. Imagine standing in the rain. You can't control the weather, but you can control whether you stand there complaining or whether you grab an umbrella and keep moving forward. When you fail to separate what you can and cannot control, life feels overwhelming. You try to fix people who don't want to change. You obsess over mistakes you can't undo. You chase approval from those who will never give it. It's like trying to swim against an unstoppable current. You exhaust yourself but never move forward. But the moment you shift your focus to what you can control, you reclaim your strength. Suddenly, instead of being stuck in frustration, you are empowered. You realize, I can't control the storm, but I can control my sail. I can't control the noise around me, but I can control the calm within me. That shift in mindset is the difference between living as a victim of circumstances and living as a leader of your own life. Here's a practical way to apply this. Whenever you feel stressed or upset, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, release it. Let it go before it drains you. This simple habit can save you hours, even years of wasted energy. For example, imagine you're waiting for a job interview result. You can't control when the company calls or what decision they make. But you can control how you prepare for the next opportunity, how you improve your skills, and how you keep your confidence intact. Or consider when someone mistreats you. You can't control their behavior, but you can control your boundaries, your dignity, and your decision not to let their negativity define you. The truth is, peace doesn't come from control in everything. It comes from controlling the right things. When you stop trying to hold on to what isn't yours to manage, you free yourself. You gain clarity, focus, and power, and that is how you stop letting things affect you, by putting your energy where it truly belongs. So remember this. Life will always have things you cannot control, but that's okay, because the most important things, your choices, your values, your response, your growth, are always in your hands. Focus there, and you'll discover that control was never about the outside world. It was always about you. Respond. Don't react. There is a powerful difference between reacting and responding, and understanding this difference can completely change your life. Most people go through life reacting, impulsively, emotionally, without thought. Someone insults them, and they snap back. Something goes wrong, and they explode in frustration. A challenge arises, and they panic. But when you live in reaction, you live as a prisoner to every trigger around you. Responding, on the other hand, is an act of strength. It is intentional, it is calm, it is deliberate. Responding means you pause, you think, and you choose your next step with clarity. While reacting drains your energy and escalates problems, responding protects your peace and helps you rise above them. Imagine this scenario. You're driving and someone cuts you off. The immediate reaction might be anger, honking, yelling, or holding on to frustration for hours. But what does that reaction accomplish? Nothing. The other driver moves on, and you're the one left stressed. Now imagine choosing to respond differently. You pause, take a breath, and remind yourself that their behavior reflects their state, not yours. Instead of losing control, you stay calm and continue your day. Which version of you feels stronger, the one who reacted or the one who responded? The truth is, life is full of triggers. People will be unkind. Situations will frustrate you. Unexpected challenges will shake your plans. But every time, you have a choice. Do I react blindly, or do I respond wisely? Reactions are driven by ego. They come from a place of defensiveness, insecurity, or fear. That's why reactions are often regretted. How many times have you said something in anger, only to wish later that you had stayed quiet? How many times have you acted on impulse, only to realize that a calmer approach would have served you better? That's the cost of reaction. Responses, however, come from strength. They require patience, self-control, and awareness. They shift your focus from the heat of the moment to the bigger picture. When you respond, you are no longer controlled by emotions. You are guiding them. You are no longer a puppet of the situation. You are the leader of it. Responding also breaks the cycle of negativity. Think of how conflicts escalate. One person reacts, the other reacts back, and soon both are trapped in anger. But a single thoughtful response can change the entire direction of the interaction. Silence instead of shouting, kindness instead of rudeness, calmness instead of chaos. These are responses that disarm negativity and protect your peace. So how do you move from reaction to response? It begins with awareness. When you feel triggered, pause, take a deep breath, give yourself a moment to step back. In that pause, you create space between the event and your action. Remember Viktor Frankl's words, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom. That space is where your power lies. Another tool is perspective. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, in a month, in a year? Most of the things we react to are so small in the grand scheme of life. By putting them into perspective, you give yourself the wisdom to choose peace over chaos. Responding doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It simply means you refuse to be a slave to the moment. You acknowledge your feelings, but you don't let them control your actions. You rise above the noise instead of being consumed by it. So, the next time life throws something at you, and it surely will, remember this, reacting is weakness, but responding is power. Reactions keep you stuck in negativity. Responses set you free. Choose wisely, and you'll discover that nothing has the power to affect you unless you give it permission. Peace is a daily choice. So many people treat peace as if it's something that will magically arrive when life finally calms down. They say, I'll be at peace once I have more money, once people treat me better, once all my problems disappear. But here's the truth, life will never stop being messy. There will always be challenges, conflicts, and disappointments. If you're waiting for perfect circumstances to feel peaceful, you'll be waiting forever. Peace is not something you stumble upon. It is something you choose every single day. It's a decision you make, not once, but repeatedly in the face of life's ups and downs. It's the choice to protect your mind when negativity tries to invade. It's the choice to forgive when bitterness wants to take root. It's the choice to let go when holding on only hurts you. Think about your mornings. The moment you wake up, you are already faced with choices. Do I start my day with gratitude, or do I scroll through negativity? Do I carry yesterday's stress into today, or do I choose a fresh beginning? Those little choices may seem small, but over time, they shape your entire inner world. Choosing peace doesn't mean you deny reality. It doesn't mean you ignore your problems. It means you face reality with calmness instead of chaos. For example, if a challenge comes your way, you could let it overwhelm you, or you could breathe, focus, and handle it one step at a time. If someone offends you, you could replay their words for hours, or you could choose to release them and move on. In both cases, the situation is the same, but your choice determines whether you suffer or grow. Peace is also about boundaries. You can't say yes to everything and still expect to feel balanced. You can't surround yourself with constant negativity and expect to stay calm. Every no you give to chaos, every boundary you set against toxicity, is a yes to your own peace. And remember, protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. You cannot pour into others from an empty cup. Another aspect of choosing peace is practicing forgiveness. Holding grudges is like drinking poison and hoping the other person suffers. You're the one carrying the weight. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means you're no longer giving their actions the power to disturb your heart. You're choosing freedom over bondage. And finally, peace is found in presence. So many of us lose peace because we're stuck in the past or anxious about the future. But life is only ever lived in this moment. When you bring your mind back to the now through gratitude, deep breathing, prayer, or mindfulness, you reclaim peace that was never truly lost, only buried under distractions. Here's the empowering truth: nobody can give you peace, and nobody can take it away. It is yours to create, yours to protect, yours to nurture. Yes, life will test you. Yes, people will disappoint you. Yes, unexpected storms will arrive. But in every situation, you still have the same choice. Will I let this steal my calm, or will I guard my peace? So don't wait for peace to appear someday in the future. Don't put your calm in the hands of others. Don't treat peace as if it's rare or unreachable. Instead, wake up each morning and decide, no matter what happens today, I choose peace. Because when peace becomes your daily choice, it becomes your daily reality. My friends, life will always test us. There will always be people who misunderstand us, challenges we didn't expect, and moments that shake our patience. But the truth we've uncovered today is simple yet life-changing. You have more control over your peace than you realize. When you recognize that you are in control of your reactions, you stop being a victim of circumstance. When you refuse to hand over your power, you protect the most valuable part of yourself, your inner calm. When you separate what you can and cannot control, you stop wasting energy on the impossible and focus on the possible. When you choose to respond instead of react, you become stronger than any trigger. And when you make peace a daily choice, you build a life that no storm can easily shake. The world will not always be kind. People will not always be fair. Situations will not always go your way. But none of these things have the authority to define your inner world, unless you grant them that power. So today I challenge you, take back control. Don't let every insult, rejection, or setback control your emotions. Don't let life's storms dictate your joy. Stop letting things affect you that don't deserve your energy. Remember, you are stronger than any trigger, bigger than any obstacle, and freer than any opinion. True power is not about controlling the world, it's about mastering yourself. And once you master yourself, you become unshakable. So, as you leave here today, carry this truth with you: no one can take your peace without your permission. Protect it, guard it, and above all, choose it. Every single day. Thank you.